Hey, you guys, I'm gonna make a playlist of movies that caught me by surprise. Now, this movie caught me by surprise. It was like 3 years ago. I came across this movie called How I Live Now, and it caught me by surprise. Now, when I make playlists, that means there's only gonna be like maybe 4 to 5 movies that caught me by surprise, but you can keep them up just in case in the future you might see something else that catch you by surprise. Because this movie totally caught me by surprise. Yeah, I got Sarah Sharon. It's got Saoirse Ronan plays. Her name's Daisy. I know you guys knew it. I can't even think of the girl's name. Saoirse Ronan is the girl that plays Daisy. I'll read the plot synopsis and we go from there. Set in the near future UK, Saoirse Ronan plays Daisy, an American teenager. She's an American teenager sent to stay with her relatives in the English countryside. Initially withdrawn and alienated, she begins to warm up to her charming surroundings and strikes up a romance with a handsome Edmund, George McKay. George McKay played in that movie, it's that war movie that came out a couple years ago. Oh, it was so good. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, he was in that. But on the fringes of on their summer days, because there's some words I can't pronounce, are tense news reports of escalating conflict in Europe as UK falls into a violent, chaotic military state. Daisy finds herself hiding and fighting to survive. Now, that's the best way I can read it. And again, I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm not going to try to be fancy on here. I know I'm going to be fumbling my words and doing stuff like that, but this is just who I am. This is an international drama romance. I was shocked that I liked this movie. Yeah, the movie opens up, man, it's got this crazy song, and she's on a plane, and she drops down in the UK, and then when she gets up, she's walking through the airport, and then, who's in this? Tom Holland. A young Tom Holland is in this movie. Yeah. And Tom Holland I kept looking, I said, it's Tom Holland, man, it's Spider-Man. But this movie came back out in 2013. Anyway, she's kind of mad because her dad got remarried and had a little baby. And she's a teenager. And so, she's probably, at that age, pissed off at the world, pardon my French. So I guess her dad sent her off to stay with some relatives in UK, which is her mom's side, because her dad apparently was married to her mom at one point. Her mom died, so her dad just moved on with his life, and he, got a baby. So she's like, so when she gets there, she's mad about everything, and it's a beautiful area, man. I mean, the countryside. Whoever filmed this did a great job, man. I mean, I fell in love with just the countryside. Because for me, I wouldn't mind living in areas like that, man. I love open, wide areas like that where you got cows and ducks and dogs running around, and just, you go down the street to your neighbors, like way down the street or something, or close by. But she ends up meeting these relatives that she doesn't even know because there's on her mom's side. And then the relatives was a family of, I think, 3, but they got a kid that comes next door, and he's always there. And it's just, oh my God, it is so good. But anyway, she's really mad. And, but, eventually, they talk her into going swimming. And then that's when she opens up. And she was just, I don't swim, I don't fish, I don't do anything. But that little girl that was in this movie, it was just, that little girl was good in it. Everybody in this was really good. But what happens is, these terrorists end up causing a war over there in that part of the country. And so Daisy was stuck over there, and she's from the United States. And so the kids' mom that they was staying with, she was part of the foreign ministry, which is, she goes into talks to try to figure out how to calm all this down. But there was this nuclear blast that killed a lot of people, and I believe these kids' mom died. So Edmund and Daisy are the oldest ones, and they're there with Tom Holland and them and this other kid and the little girl, and they're trying to survive. And then the military comes in and, you know, and telling them that, you know, they have to do this and have to do that. And then they end up hiding somewhere. And then these military guys comes and gets them and takes them somewhere. And then Daisy and the little girls ends up staying with this older couple, and they have to work and go through all this fruit and stuff and all these vegetables to eat and stuff. So it's like they had to go to this work camp. But she got separated from the other three, and so that's how this movie's set up. So then she stays with these older couple, and, you know, she's, you know, because right now, at this time, everything's tense. They can only do so much because this war has broken out. So when you have a war that breaks out like that, you got all these restrictions, and she's staying with these people she didn't know, and these people that she was staying with, they lost their son to that war. So, you know, the dad was pretty upset, but you know, they were staying with him, and so she was trying to figure out how to get back to that house on the countryside. So she ends up, you know, getting away from there because something happens where I think they get attacked or something happens where it was, you know, shooting and some stuff go on, and then Daisy and the little girl ends up taking off running away and trying to find. So Daisy's trying to get back to this countryside so she can find you know, the other three. Well, before that, when she was at this work camp doing all this work, because they have to, when you're in a war like that, they got you got all these things that go on. Well, she ran into the next door boy. She found him, and so she was asking what happened to him. The other two, which was Tom Holland, and they took him off to this other place. And when Daisy was on this bus, they had, you know, after get done, they was on this bus. Well, there was these terrorists that was down the street that was trying to come in towards this gate, and that boy that she first met, that was part of that family, he looked at her and he said, "You killed my dog, you killed my dog." And she was trying to yell at him, and he got out, he says, "You killed my dog." And when he stepped out, they shot him, and just freaked her out. Well, then when she leaves this house, she goes all through this countryside. She damn near gets raped by this guy. And then, because they were raping these girls, and she was trying to protect that little girl, well, then when she got the gun away from the guy, he was like, she shot him in the stomach, and he was like begging for his life. I think she just went on and shot him, because he, you know, if she didn't shoot him, he was going to rape her and most likely kill her. So she killed him. And then she took the little girl and they ran. But man, there was so many parts in here where it showed that their feet was swollen, and you know, the shoes was wore out, and the little girl was crying, and Daisy kept trying to calm down and say, "Hey, you know," it was a really good story, you know. Now, I know I'm jumping around. Well, then she ends up finding Tom Holland. She ended up finding this camp where she goes through there. She tells Daisy to stay right here. Well, then she goes and she finds this empty camp where the enemy that was doing all this, start this war, they had these kids doing work for them. Well, then she found this mass grave, and that's when she found Tom Holland. And she, you know, she found his body, and she seen his glasses, and, you know, he's wearing these glasses. She started crying. And then the little girl's like, you know, she didn't tell the little girl, but then the little girl says, "I'm not going to never see my brother again, am I?" And she goes, "I'm not going to see Mom again." You know, it was just, you guys, it was so good. And then she ends up trying to find her way home. Well, Edmund, which is the guy that she fell for, he was, when she first got there, he found this, you know, this big bird that was injured, and he nursed the big bird back to life, and he let it go. Well, she happened to look up and see that bird that Edmund had, you know, rescued and you know, helped that bird get better. Well, she started looking at that bird, and that bird started flying a certain way, and that's when she thought, maybe I should go this way. And then when she went that way, that's when she found Edmund. Edmund was all messed up. He was just out of his mind, and he didn't know who she was, and she don't know what he'd been through. But then, you know, it just, that was towards the end of the story. And then she was trying to help him, and then, you know, a few days went by, and you know, she was trying to clean up the house, and then electricity finally came on. Then I think somehow the war stopped, and then, you know, the movie ended where she's going to try to help Edmund try to get his mind back because he had been through so much. But it's a great movie, you guys. I know I did not want this video to go that long, but I just had to explain it. This is one of those movies, man, that it's almost a 5-star for me too, because that's how good this movie is. It came out in 2013. It's an international drama romance, and Sarah Saronan is the one that played it. She also played in Lady Bird. But man, she's such a good actress. But anyway, you guys, God bless, take care. You know, I'm doing the best I can with telling you about stuff. But put this one on your radar. I think you'll enjoy it. God bless, take care, and we'll catch you next video. We'll see you.